billion. Holy fuck, I'm sure this'll go well. Tesco's facing the UK's largest equal pay challenge, with a bill potentially running to £4 billion. This is how much the feminists want to get paid. Lay Day has launched legal action against the company on behalf of shop assistants who claim they are being paid up to £3 an hour less than their male warehouse workers. They're not doing the same job. And it isn't just that they are male, it's that they are people in a different motherfucking job. It said distribution centre workers, who are predominantly male, but not exclusively so, earn in excess of £11 an hour compared to the largely female-staffed Tesco stores where the common grade sits at £8 an hour. So again, neither of these roles are based on gender. They might have a difference in distribution, but there are women at the distribution centres and men in the fucking stores. And the men in the stores are being paid £8 an hour, and the women in the distribution centres being paid £11 an hour. This is not an example of gender bias, you fucking leeches. The disparity could see male distribution workers earning £5,000 a year more than female workers doing the same hours, Lay Day said. That's a fucking lie. It'll also see the female distribution workers earning £5,000 a year more than the male workers doing the same hours in the shop floor. And having worked in both fucking fields at one point, I can honestly tell you that yes, it's more difficult to work in the fucking centres. It's basically just warehouse work, and that is heavier and more difficult than shop floor work. I hate to fucking break it to you fucking parasites. Paul Lee from Lay Day, who is representing Tesco women, said, "Give me all your shekels, Goyer.
We've destroyed an enemy
We
cruiser.
believe an inherent bias has allowed store workers to be underpaid for many years, but it hasn't. Predominantly male and predominantly female does not mean all men and all women. If some women are being paid the same as men, where's the fucking claim of gender bias, you bullshit artist? Fuck me. I'm getting really sick of the power that feminism has in this country. It's unbelievable. Frankly, there were £4 billion over bullshit. But the thing is, right, we believe in inherent bias and allowed store workers to be underpaid for many years. They're being paid £8 an hour, which honestly was way more than I was getting paid when I was doing a similar job. But it's not that they're being underpaid, that's just what Tesco offers for that job. If you don't like it, you don't have to do it. You can find another job. It's not mandatory. You can find a different job that pays you £8 an hour to sit on a fucking till or stack a shelf. In terms of equal worth to the company, there really should be no argument that workers in stores, compared to those working in distribution centres, contribute at least equal value to the vast profits made by Tesco. Okay, so prove it. Don't just assert it, fucking prove it. Prove that they are contributing equal value. Prove that Tesco is in fact operating from a place of bias and not a place of economic self-interest. How do you know this? You're just asserting it because this one's mostly women and this one's mostly men, and lo and behold, the gender communists have come along with their great levelling steamroller to eradicate all differences. It doesn't matter how much harder the distribution centre workers are working. It doesn't matter how much easier it is to sit at the till or stock shelves or do whatever it is they're doing. These things don't matter. What matters is that women aren't getting the same as men. Don't want to hear about your reasons. I don't want to hear about anything that might actually explain this in a way that doesn't make women victims, because I'm telling you that women are the victims in this regard. You are an evil, patriarchal misogynist if you think Tesco should be allowed to run their own business the way they fucking want, and that people should be allowed to choose the jobs that they want to do. No, 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 no. The feminist inquisition are here, and we're going to suck your fucking blood. In the week where we've marked the 100-year anniversary since women began to get the vote, and the 100-year anniversary since men began to get the vote, or that was like 2 years earlier, the time has come for companies and public organisations to look long and hard at themselves to see the inequality which is still deeply entrenched in their organisations. Oh, the time has come for communism, has it? That's what's happened. The time has come for fucking communism. Why shouldn't people who work harder than other people be paid more than the people who don't work as hard as them? Oh, because they're men and these people are women. That's your fucking rationale. This whole thing is nonsense. The idea that you think getting the vote should be a precursor to communism is baffling. These people do not owe you any money. Tesco's have done nothing wrong. All of this is just based on this gender communist ideology. It's horseshit, it's completely illiberal, and I oppose it in its entirety. A Tesco spokesman said, "We are unable to comment on a claim we have not received. Tesco has always been a place for people to get on with their career regardless of their gender, background or education, and we work hard to make sure all our colleagues are paid fairly and equally for the jobs they do." Well, fuck you, Tesco. That might be true. You might actually be in the same position as the BBC, where 3 goddamn investigations from an outside party later, who can't find any evidence of gender discrimination, you're still going to be paying up. You're still going to be forking out because the feminist vampires have come around, shaking their little tin and going, "Wow, I see that there are women here who are being paid less than some men over there. Cough up." And the thing is, right, Asda employees are currently involved in a similar dispute, and in 2016 it was ruled that lower paid shop workers, who are mostly women, can compare themselves to higher paid workers in Asda's distribution centres who are mostly men, even though they're not doing the same job. It doesn't involve the same effort, and they're a bunch of money grubbing leeches too. Fuck feminism, it's cancer. The British Broadcasting Corporation has produced a vast number of articles promoting feminist talking points. Everyone needs to know about the awful barriers women face in the workplace, such as men asking, "But what if you get pregnant?" and how women face a glass ceiling because they get pregnant. Over the years, this morphed into the BBC's own feminist crusade that involved investigating the pay gap of public sector organisations, 17 to 23%, which just goes to show how the gender pay gap was alive and well in 2009. It turned out at the time that this was mostly the consequence of women taking time off to have children and then structuring their lives around their families. This is combined with an expectations gap on the part of men and women. Men expect more, women expect less, and so men demand more. Although the gender pay gap is actually a logical consequence of equal pay for equal work, it was not good enough for the BBC, who decided the fight should be equal pay for unequal work, instead of listening to the BBC's then home editor Mark Easton, who was forced to explain in pedantic detail twice how the feminist deputy leader of the Labour Party Harriet Harman and her Equalities Office had misused statistics about the gender pay gap after being publicly rebuked by the head of the UK Statistics Authority for their misleading quantification of the gender pay gap. The problem of the gender pay gap at the BBC is one of mischaracterization, such as describing the problem as nearly 40 years after the Equal Pay Act was meant to close the gender pay gap, the government is seeking to bring in a new law aimed at tackling inequality at the workplace. This is not correct. The Equal Pay Act was never designed to make men and women receive the same wages despite making different life choices. It was to prevent gender discrimination between men or women, as it says in the preface. It is not a guarantee of the same wages, it is a guarantee of the same opportunity to earn wages without being penalised because of gender. It does not say that women are entitled to work less and then still earn the same amount of money as men, because that would actually be gender discrimination against men, which is instead how things have ended. Because of this persistent mischaracterization, the BBC's reporting on the subject has been tinged with hysteria. The reduction in the pay gap is halted. The pay gap is at risk of worsening. The pay gap will take over 100 years to close. Should the same pay simply be enforced by law, regardless of the work involved? By 2014, the pay gap was at record lows, but not because women had decided to change their lifestyles, but instead because men's wages were dropping faster in real terms than women's, and younger women were now out-earning younger men, probably due to them doing better in school and being 35% more likely to go to university, so that in 2017 there were 30,000 more women than men in higher education. That is, of course, before their careers begin to suffer as they decide in their 30s that they want families. This, of course, had absolutely no effect on feminist activists in the UK